Lions fans, if you're here tuning into Garage Takes, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, hop into the comments section. Let us know how you're feeling after a big bounce back win from the Lions over divisional rival Chicago Bears and a warm Detroit welcome back for Ben Johnson. It was a beautiful thing, especially with how week one went. That was not good. That did not seem like Lions football. This certainly did. Brant, did you feel like this game felt personal?
Absolutely, Dave. It was absolutely personal, and I feel like some of the comments afterwards was definitely personal.
Yeah, most definitely. I really am intrigued, and we'll probably never know. Like, what was that fallout a bit with? Because it's not just it started as the rumors of Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson, and they were at odds, and but it seems deeper than that. I don't know. You got players kind of openly coming out and saying it's personal, from Amon-Ra to Brian Branch and these guys. Like, it seems like there is more to this story, and maybe it will eventually come out. But man, that was a beautiful thing in every aspect, I guess. Do you feel more very similar very similar to what I asked you when we were doing the Michigan football segment and what we saw with Michigan against CMU? I guess, do you have more confidence in Johnny Morton in week two and what we saw from this offense, or do you need to see this against a better team than Chicago Bears?
I'm gonna need to see this against more than just the Chicago Bears, Dave. I need to see it against Monday night against the Ravens. I I think the Packers are a top five NFL team in this league, and that's where I'd expect the Detroit Lions to be. I don't believe the Chicago. I almost believe the Chicago Bears are bottom five in this league. So it's going to be important Monday night to see what this offense can bring to the table, hostile environment, things of that nature. But I was intrigued by the way that JMO was able to get open. Him talking in the locker room afterwards about, I'm not going to tell you how I knew this was going to be a touchdown, but I knew this was going to be six. It felt very personal on a lot of levels, and I believe that's why they came to play. And Dan Campbell had no breaks, even late in the game, and Ben Johnson touched on it. I believe that this team is has a chance to be top five. Dave, they're just not there at the moment. I don't believe, but I need to definitely see it Monday night.
Monday night's going to be interesting. I mean, I think all Lions fans can remember the game at Baltimore a couple years ago when talk about getting the brakes beat off. I mean, the Ravens the Lions were a very good team. There were a lot of excitement, and then they went and played Baltimore, and at some point, I think it was like 35-6 or 35-7. I mean, it was an absolute blowout. They could not stop Lamar Jackson, and so we're going to see. And look, Shep's got his work cut out for him. Aaron Glenn's not your defensive coordinator anymore. Game planning for Lamar Jackson and King Henry is not fun. And so we're going to learn a lot about this team. What do you feel? Who do you feel may be the X factors in this game on both sides of the football, and why? Just curious to know your thoughts here, and then we'll get in and talk about the spread in this game.
Yeah, Dave, I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to go with Hutch. And, you know, through two games, I don't think he's really showed out that well, but I think he needs a massive game against this Ravens squad. Um, I think he's definitely has a chance to be potentially comeback player of the year, but he needs to get the engine going a little bit, Dave. Um, and I think as far as this defense goes, he will go. I thought the secondary played really well against the Bears, and Caleb Williams probably plays into that. I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to give you that, but I think it's going to be important to contain Lamar Jackson. It's going to be important to make him stay in the pocket, and Hutch and that defensive line is going to be a big part of that. Um, Offensively, I would love to see Sam Laporta get going a little bit more, and I think he's going to be a massive X factor in this game. Just be that reliable target that you can keep these chains moving. I don't think you're going to be able to beat Baltimore down the field like you did against Chicago, and I expect Laporta to have a big game Monday night.
It's funny, that was my pick right there too. I think that on offense they've got to run the ball effectively, and that includes just those little 3 to 4 yard runs on first down to just establish the run. First of all, it's going to make Jared Goff's life a lot easier. He looked great, by the way, on Sunday. But I think Sam Laporta too is going to have to get involved. They have not gotten him involved really yet this year, and this is going to be. Look, the Ravens have a good defense. They do every year. Um, Goff needs to get the ball out quickly, and he needs a little bit of a safety blanket. I think Sam Laporta can get open. He can be that guy. I also think a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who just went off this past week, is going to need to just be a safety blanket for Goff. I think your X factor will continue to be a guy like JMO. He may give you something. They may have him totally bottled up, but even having putting that on tape like this past week, I think he had like 2 catches, but it's for like over 100 yards. Just putting that on there, you have to game plan for that. And even if he doesn't have one of those big explosive plays, it opens up the offense for everybody else, and it's going to get other guys open. My prediction here, Brant, is Tesla. It's going to get his first touchdown. I think that it's coming this week. The 2 catches he's had are like if they're out of a video game. I think he is just kind of giving you little glimpses of like he's going to be that guy. He's going to be a fun player to have in Detroit, and I know that these fans are already taking a liking to him. He blocks, he does the dirty work, and he'll go up and make a play. I think they're going to draw something up for him Monday night, and I'm excited to see that. But Sam Laporta was my pick as well on defense. Look, you're not going to stop Lamar Jackson. You're not going to stop King Henry, and I know he didn't have a great week this past week. But you contain them the best you can. And I think you do that again to flip it back to the offenses. Yeah, you can't let them do whatever they want to your defense. But again, control the game, control it by running the football effectively, by keep moving the football down the field. This will be a game of field position. And I think they've got a chance here. Now, this spread, I haven't seen it. I'll be honest, dude. I have not looked at it at all. I don't know if you have. What is Vegas saying about this game?
Detroit 5 point underdogs.
Okay, I am definitely taking Detroit with 5 points if that's the number. I'm definitely not confident enough to say they're going to win this game. I will not even remotely be surprised if they lose. In fact, I'd probably pick the Ravens just on Monday night. But I think it's going to be close. I hope it's going to be close. And again, I think this is not going to, the Lions aren't going to be dropping 50 points, and neither will the Ravens, I don't think. But I think it will be a little bit of a back and forth that could end up with a late touchdown or a field goal that wins this for either the Lions or the Ravens. What do you think, Brant?
I'm right there with you. I would take Detroit with the 5. I don't. I see it. I see it as maybe Detroit comes out a little slow. Maybe Ravens get out to a decent lead, and then Detroit finds a way to scrape and battle back and lose a close one. Although you did not give us your defensive key player, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for calling me out. Um, you know who I think needs to be the key player on defense is Brian Branch. I think that Brian Branch is just quietly one of the best defensive players in the NFL. And where the best defensive players in the NFL show up are in big games like this. I think he is smart. I think he has command of that secondary as well, even though he is young. And I think that, again, if he can play a key role, and they like to bring him up in the slot as well at times. He's a really he's got a diverse skill set, and you need that, especially when you're playing a guy like Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to go with Brian Branch to be a guy that has a big impact, that needs to have a big impact if the Lions are going to have a chance. So Lions fans, let us know here in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let us know down below. Who do you got Monday Night Football? Lions, Ravens. What do you think about that 5 point spread? Let us know.